This is Dr. Olu Asekun here. I'm not sure if people can hear me.
No, they can hear you.
Just not as well.
Okay. Yeah, this is Dr. Olu Asekun here. Welcome to our weekly podcast. Today is another beautiful Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. Please invite your family, friends, and colleagues at work. Um, Thank you. Okay, invite your family, friends, and colleagues at work, and we are going to continue the question and answer session. This is a series we started, I think, 2 weeks ago. This is going to be the part 3 of the question and answer session. Normally, we discuss uh, individual topics, and we have covered virtually every single immigration topic. However, because we received a lot of questions that are unrelated to the topic of the day, we decided to do a question and answer session to make it open, free for people to ask any questions they may want. And incidentally, the plan was to do it for only 1 week. The first week, we couldn't even reach half of the questions. So we extended it till the following week, which was last week. Again, we were not able to finish all the questions. So that is why we are continuing today. Hopefully, we will round up the series today. So it's a question and answer session. If you have questions, how would they be able to see the number? If you have questions, you can send your questions to 817-883-4495. You can also send your questions to 817-983-4499. You can as well send your questions to 817-891-6655. So send all your questions and we'll be able to answer them as you are sending them in.
Someone is saying hi from Brazil.
Oh, is
But
it
they're saying in Spanish. No, no, it's Spanish.
okay? So I think I need help opening up my.
Andrew. Hi, Andrew. Hola, Andrew.
Okay, we've started. I don't even know what I did wrong here.
Let me see.
Let me just go back to. Okay.
Someone from Qatar, Mr. Juba Ido.
Okay. I must have done something wrong. If you can help me. Okay. Thank you again. If you have questions, you can start sending them in. Like I said, today we are continuing our question and answer series, and we are going to be answering all the questions that we received. I want to congratulate all Americans for the beauty of democracy. The election has been conducted, won and lost. If your candidate lost, I would say that it's just a 4-year period. In another 4 years, we'll have an opportunity to revisit the matter. You are not able to open it?
No, it's here. It is.
Okay, so have we started receiving questions? Okay.
Well, no, people are saying hi. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us and thank you for saying hi. Thank you all. So, sending your questions. As I was saying about the election, we hope and pray that the president-elect will be magnanimous in victory and not implement some of the draconian rhetorics during election. So no questions yet?
Not yet.
What about the questions we were not able
Yes,
to
we're
handle
about-
last week? Yeah, please send them so that I can, because it's a question and answer session. I don't really have a lot of time. There's no topic to do intro. So waiting for questions. Is this a question? The one in Spanish?
No, I'm responding to something you wanted to know.
Okay. So the numbers, once again, our numbers are 817-883-4495, 817-983-4499, 817-891-6655. So if you have questions, send them in, because we may not be able to continue this question and answer session. Like I said, this was just to address questions that were not related to topic of the day. So from next week, we'll be going back to the topic of the day. So, okay, I think I started receiving the questions. The first question: can you speak about the latest issues with respect to the EB4 visa category with the priority days moving backward? Okay, part two of the question: how long will a person who filed for the green card with priority date of January 2021 expect to receive their green card? Okay, now let me say this. The priority date issue is a very complex and complicated matter. There are so many unknowns in the process. And when I say unknowns, not to me personally, even to USCIS, there are so many unknowns to them. To the Department of State, there are so many unknowns. Because the way the priority date, the way it works is that for every category of petitions that are required, that are limited by number, that have limited numerical limit, there is no way anyone will be able to predict how many applications immigration will receive in any particular month or even in a particular year. For example, since this question is based on religious visa, I'm going to say for EB4, the numerical limit is under 10,000 per year. That 10,000 will be used on a monthly basis until it is exhausted. Now, I don't have a way of knowing how many petitions or applications people will file in any particular month. Even immigration themselves cannot say that. We are in the month of November now. There is no way immigration can predict that, okay, this November 2024, we are going to receive 2,000 applications. That is something that is beyond any human being. And that is one of the complications of these visa bulletin issues. Because the reason visa bulletin approbate and reprobate, that is the reason it retrogresses sometimes, is because in any month where they receive more applications than previous month, it will go back. The priority date will retrogress because now they have more applications. Maybe the previous month, maybe they received only 1,000 applications. Maybe this month they received 1,500 applications. It's going to retrogress. And that is something that nobody can predict. Nobody can, like I said, this November, there's no way even immigration can say, oh, this month for this EB4, we are going to receive 1,000 applications. Or for this EB1, we are going to receive 5,000. Nobody can predict that. So there are lots and lots of unknowns that are involved. The only things that are known, the variables, as the mathematicians will say, the variables or the constant in this case is that, number one, there is a limited number of green cards that immigration can approve in the EB4 category. In fact, in all the categories, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5, there are limited numbers that they can approve in each category. The same thing with family base, with the exception of immediate family. Immediate family is the only category under the United States immigration law that is not affected by visa bulletin. And when I say immediate family, parents of a US citizen, spouses of a US citizen, minor children of a US citizen under 21, that is it. every other category, even including asylum, every other category, they have numerical limit. And like I said, because we cannot predetermine how many applications are going to be submitted, it is extremely difficult to accurately project how the visa bulletin will move, or when it's going to retrogress, or when it's going to move forward. That is something we cannot project. For example, US fiscal year always start from October of every year and ends in September of every year. So fiscal year 2025 started last month, October 1st. Personally, I had thought that, okay, by October 1st, they were going to open up new allocation. So that probably will make the visa bulletin to move forward, to progress. But apparently it didn't. So what that means is that probably the backlog, the previous outstanding was more than even the new number that was supposed to be opened. So it didn't move. So those are some of the things that nobody could have predicted, because I didn't have access or any information as to how many applications has been extended up till December. So we hope that now that the election is over, we sit down and do something and work on all this, because previously, because of election electoral campaign, a lot of things were not done. I mean, even the immigration bill that was supposed to be passed, it wasn't passed because of immigration, because of politics, because people wanted to use it to campaign. But now that the election is over, hopefully both Democrat and Republican will sit down in the Congress and iron out this thing and probably give us a lasting solution, instead of this 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 2 months, 3 months. Extended, non-minister is extended till December. So December is just next month. But hopefully, now that the election is over, they will be able to do something about it. The next question.
Oh, there's one in Spanish, and it was before the one that you just answered.
So are you going to
yes,
interpret it? Okay.
yeah, he just wants to know if you think that the new president will have a good mandate, if it will be good.
Our that's something. What the
Okay,
is
it
it
can go
frozen?
back. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Is it okay now?
Okay,
Is
it
it
can go
frozen?
back. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Is it okay now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, let me say this. For those who are fearful, mine is still kind of,
Oh, you just move the screen down a little bit, and then we'll.
I did. I hope that's not what is happening to people. Are you able to see us
I'm
live?
able to see.
Can it just be my phone?
Maybe if you put on Wi-Fi. I mean, without
Out of
your
Wi-Fi?
regular data. Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, it's back on. I think it's back on. Okay. Let me say this. As I said, I'm not God. There's no way I will know how this president is going to turn out. I can't, that's not something I can say. But let me say this, especially for those who are not Americans. Let me say this. The United States has a very solid system, has a very solid political system. I understand the anxiety. I understand the fears. I understand the fact that some people believe that because the Supreme Court has given the president a lot of immunity and all of that. But I still want to say that there's a very, very strong system here in the United States. It is going to be almost impossible, in my opinion, for any president to be a dictator. Even though Donald Trump said all those things during campaign, it's going to be almost impossible. One of the things that we need to understand is that in the United States, elections are conducted every 2 years. every 2 years. So if the president does not perform, I can guarantee you midterm is around the corner. 2026 is around the corner. So all they need to do is just to take away the Congress from the ruling party, and that will checkmate whatever excessive power the president may have. Having said that, of course, there may be basic challenges with some, especially when it comes to immigration matter. I want to say this, even as an immigration lawyer, I'm not particularly impressed with some of the things that the Republicans did at the border. I mean, opening the border wide open for hundreds of thousands coming in every day, and I mean, everybody want to feel safe. Everybody wants to feel safe. I believe that was a mistake on the part of the Democrat. But eventually they fix it. After all, as of today, the number of people coming into US is actually lower than when Donald Trump was president. But unfortunately, the damage has been done during summer, I think. So the truth of the matter is some people are going to be affected, definitely. The policies, yes. The last Donald Trump administration, if you go to immigration court, you cannot get anything done. You cannot get any assistant chief counsel or any lawyer from the immigration and customs enforcement. You cannot get them to agree to anything. There was a standing instruction. Even the simplest of things, just a straightforward case, they will tell you the instruction is not to agree. Yes, that was frustrating. That was frustrating. Definitely, some people are going to feel the impact, but some people are going to be happy too. In every situation, there are always winning side and there are always losing side. But this is temporary in any case. And I believe, personally, this is my opinion, I believe strongly that the system that is in existence will override any threat of maybe totalitarian leadership. I believe that is my own opinion. So I don't know. Do you want to translate my opinion to the person in Spanish? I don't know if
I
you
can send a message later.
Okay, yeah, you can send me a message in
Yeah.
Spanish so that she can at least
Mhm.
understand my position.
But I think he has the
Translator.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that is my own opinion. I'm not a politician. And I'm not God. I'm not in a position to determine how Donald Trump is going to rule. But based on his antecedent, I know that some people are going to be affected, but the system will survive it. That I know. There's a solid system that will survive it. I'm trying to determine the next question.
Is the one that I posted.
Let me see.
I'm active military.
Okay. The next question. I'm active military and I already got my citizenship, but my parents are still back home in Nigeria. What is the fast route to bring them to the state? I-130 or B2 visa? I will tell you, just file I-130 for them. And I don't know if this person is actually, but it said active military. What I will advise you, file I-130 for them, get your unit commander or whoever is assisting you guys with immigration matter, get them involved to request expedited processing of your case. Let them know that you need your parents' presence here. I mean, for some reasons, they will, if you present it to them, I believe that they are able to help you. You can also go through the, I mean, maybe the congressman or the senator from your area and all of that. But the best way is to file for them, because if you go through the B1, B2 visa, if they are denied, you are going to spend a lot more time, because To even secure an appointment now, I don't know how fast that is. And because it's a discretionary thing, it may be denied. So I believe that the best thing to do is just to file a petition for them so that they can come in. But as soon as you file it and you get the receipt notice, contact your unit commander or whoever is helping you guys with immigration. I've seen that work before and I know it can work. And I've also seen senators intervening in that situation for people in active military. So you can do either of those, and I believe it's better to get them here as a permanent resident right away. The next question. Okay, I applied for the adjustment of status through marriage, but it was denied in 2021. I was instructed to leave US within 90 days. The letter sent to me by immigration. I've not done anything to that effect since then. What do I do now and when I intend to apply? Well, the question is not detailed enough because you just say that the application was denied, that your adjustment of status through marriage was denied. The question didn't indicate whether you are still married to your wife. You didn't indicate what reason it was denied. But what I'm going to tell you, irrespective of the reason, even if it was denied based on 204C, if you are still together with your wife, you can refile. There's a BIA decision that says that even a prior marriage, a prior application that was denied based on marriage fraud, for as long as it is the same couple, the same petitioner that refiled the application, it can still be approved on its own merit. So if you are still together, you can remarry. Again, another thing this question didn't say is why it was denied. Was it denied because there was site inspection and they realized that this was a fraudulent marriage or something? But like I said, irrespective of the reason, if you are still together, you can still refile. But if you are no longer together, then whether you will be able to still get green card will depend on the reason why it was denied. If it was denied based on 204C, you may have a Herculean task to get it approved. But if it was denied for something else, yeah, if was denied because you didn't submit sufficient documentation or you didn't meet your burden, you can still remarry and still get your green card. But if it was denied because immigration have substantial and probative evidence of marriage fraud, that may be a Herculean task. But again, this information here is not enough to give you a definitive answer to your case. So you may want to provide additional information or maybe go for consultation. The next question: how do you study for the civic test for naturalization? Is there an app for that or a source? That's very simple. Normally, when you apply for citizenship, they will invite you for fingerprinting. Once you go for fingerprinting, they will give you materials to study for the civic test, for the naturalization exam. However, in the case, because it is also possible that they may not even invite you for fingerprinting, they may decide to reuse your existing biometric. If that happens, all you need to do, go to USCIS website, click on Form N400, application for citizenship. On that page, you will see a lot of civic materials. In fact, there are audio, there are written, there are different types of the citizenship application. And let me say this is an opportunity for me to point this out. If you are already in the US and you are a permanent resident, I will advise you, if you are eligible for citizenship, do not delay. This will be the best time to apply. The reason is very simple. When Donald Trump was president in between 2016 and 2020, he attempted to change the citizenship questions. In fact, he did change it. But when Biden came back, Biden restored it back to the original questions. So there is a possibility that now that Donald Trump is coming back, they may change all those things again. So you may want to quickly do it now if you are already eligible. And guess what? It's very fast now. It's very, very fast. They attend to citizenship application within 4 to 6 months. It's very, very fast. So even before Donald Trump get to change anything, you are done with it. So I can assure you tougher questions may be coming, but the questions that are there right now, very easy, very simple. So you better apply now if you are eligible. The next question. I married a US citizen and my case was denied. I've already stayed for 3 years and I went back to Nigeria. What can I do to enter the USA again? This is my 4th year outside the US. Well, number one, if you have been in the US unlawfully for a period of over 1 year, there is a statutory bar. You are barred for 10 years. That is statutory. That is part of what is called 3 and 10 year bar. However, this question didn't state why the application was denied. Again, the reason for the denial will be a factor in your ability to return to the US. If it was denied because immigration believed that your marriage was fraud and they have evidence of that, to re-enter the US, it will take the grace of God for you to be able to come back to the US. But it is not impossible. It's just going to be tough. The next question. Good day, Dr. Asekun. What's your take on legal immigration and Trump winning the election? Well, again, I'm just like any other people. I don't have any special knowledge of what Trump is going to do. But one thing is certain, looking at his antecedent. I mean, human beings generally, how do we estimate people? How do we determine what somebody is likely to do or not likely to do? Why do we do background check? Why do we conduct investigation on somebody's behavior? To be able to look at what they have done before, to use it to judge what they are likely going to do. So, because of Donald Trump's posture regarding immigration in the past, I believe that his regime is not going to be immigration friendly. He didn't hide it, he said it throughout the campaign, and I believe personally that he's going to implement most of the things that he is going to implement. But there are some things that I believe that he may not be able to do. For example, during his last administration, there was a Muslim ban. I don't believe he will be able to do that because the court told him at that time that he did not have the authority to do that. So since the court order is still there, I don't think he will be able to do that. But of course, doing other things like maybe shutting down the border, maybe enforcing immigration law strictly and all of that. Yes, he may be able to do all that. So I don't know how things are going to play out, but we are watching. We are watching. It's not going to be sworn in until January 20. So let's see what's going to happen. We are all watching. We are all watching. The next question. I see this is in Spanish. Is that your response?
Yes.
Okay. The next question. On my USCIS portal, my green card case show it's at final decision stage. It has been showing that 3 month estimated time for current stage to complete since more than 3 months now. Are they not updating or giving inaccurate update on cases? Well, immigration is very inconsistent. Sometimes,
Sorry, before you answer, he kept going with his information. Some questions down. If you look for the user, just keep scrolling until you get to.
so how many more?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Apart from the first two. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let me go back to read the question. Is it the one real IT Nexus?
Yes.
Okay. On my USCIS portal, my green card case shows that it's at final decision stage. It has been showing that 3 months estimated time for current stage to complete since more than 3 months. Are they not updating or giving inaccurate updates? Okay.
Okay, go.
I've been married to a US citizen for over 4 years now. When my green card comes and it's 10 years, can I apply for citizenship immediately I receive my green card since my marriage will have been almost 5 years? Is that the last one or we still have more?
That's the last one.
Okay. Now, let me say this. As for the information on the portal, sometimes these informations are not accurate because there are so many human factors that affect processing of applications. Remember, USCIS officers are human beings. Sometimes files are located to one officer. While that officer is working on the case, the officer may resign. The officer may transfer to another location. The officer may decide to join a different agency. A lot of things happen that affect processing of petitions and applications. And sometimes when that happens, it takes time before the case is reassigned to another officer. Even when the case is assigned to another officer, sometimes the officer need time to go over the file entirely and they don't go back to update all these things. So there are so many things that affect this thing. But what I can tell you is that since your case has been pending for over 4 years, I believe that you are eligible to do service request. I don't think there's any service center that is over 4 years with I-485.
Highest is the National Benefit Center.
National Benefit Center doesn't process 485. That's I-130.
I-130.
Yeah, I'm talking. This is 485 according to the question. Again, the question didn't indicate whether the I-130 has been approved or not, but the question mentioned I-485. But the thing is, I believe that this case will be eligible for service request. And if you know, please pay attention to my word because I'm choosing my word carefully. If you know that you do not have any skeleton in your cupboard, you can actually file mandamus because this is eligible for mandamus if it has been pending for 4 years. 4 years is a lot of time. You can file for mandamus. That is one. Secondly, to answer your question about citizenship, no, they don't count citizenship eligibility based on date of marriage. They count from the date the green card is approved. However, you can actually apply immediately if you choose to join the military. If you join the US military, you are required to be a permanent resident for 1 day. In other words, you can get your green card today and apply for citizenship tomorrow, but you must be in active military duty. So if you
Isn't another. Yes.
okay.
It's the marriage. It's the one prior to the last.
Oh, the marriage
Is a
4
marriage
years.
that's over 4 years. I-485 is pending for over 3 years. I-131 is he still didn't talk about the I-130.
I think the I-130 is the one that
Yeah, because
is making reference to.
Yeah, but he said I-485.
Yeah, no, but instead of I-131, I think he meant I-130. No?
Well,
Is it the travel?
I-131 is travel document. I-130 is the petition. So, well, I believe that the sender of this question is listening to me. I want to know, has your I-130 petition been approved? Because if it has been approved, you cannot even file mandamus because it is only a U.S. citizen that can file a mandamus.
I-130 is approved? Ah, service.
I-130 is approved, 485 is pending over 3 years. Okay, so in that case, you cannot even file mandamus. So what you need to do is to, okay, can you also send us where is your application pending? Let us check on your behalf if you are eligible to do a service request. Yeah, send us information of where your application is pending. Is it pending at a service center? Is it pending at a local USCIS office? If it's a local USCIS office, what is the city? Tell us where your application is pending, and we can look at it on your behalf and tell you if you are eligible to do a service request. But if the I-130 has already been approved, unfortunately, you are not eligible to file mandamus because mandamus can only be filed by a U.S. citizen. And I-485 application is not an application by a U.S. citizen. It's an application by a foreigner applying to become a permanent resident. So you do not have in law, what we call local standard to to file a lawsuit against immigration. You do not have that. So the basis of the lawsuit is the delay in the processing of the I-130. But because the I-130 has already been approved, there is no basis for that. So the only thing you can do is to do a service request. Again, we need to know if you are even eligible to do service request, because for you to do service request, the processing time posted by USCIS must have been exceeded in order for you to do that. Another thing you can also do, you can get your wife, who is a US citizen, to contact his or her congressman or senator to seek congressional assistance. That would have been more effective if you had come like maybe a month ago or two, because at that time they probably will have a listening here because they are they are looking for vote. Now that the election is over, they may not see you as priority, but it is still worth trying.
I don't even see the highest that I've seen so far for an I-485. I mean, I'm just clicking on a lot of the big cities and stuff, but they're not even close to 3 years. The only one that has been close was
He probably will be eligible to file service request, but just to confirm. So if you send us the city where the case is pending, we'll be able to check on your behalf and let you know. Okay, so what's the next question? I just want to be sure I didn't omit
the
any
next
one.
starts as email.
Okay, I got that. The one that says, I am eligible for citizenship, but I am currently outside the country on vacation in the UK. I want to get my N400 in as soon as possible. Can I submit my application online while outside the country? No, you cannot. You have to be physically present in the United States to submit your application for citizenship. Physical presence is a requirement of citizenship, so you cannot apply from outside. You have to be inside the US. The next question: does workplace physical assault qualify for VAWA? No, 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 no. What VAWA is meant for married couple, is not meant for everybody. However, if you are assaulted physically, yes, you may not qualify for VAWA, but you may qualify for U visa. U visa is a victim of crime. So if there was a physical assault on you at your job place, just make sure that it is reported. Call the police, make sure that it is reported, make sure that the person is arrested and prosecuted, make sure that you are cooperating with the law enforcement to make sure that that person is sentenced or punished for the offense. It doesn't matter whether there is a conviction or not. For as long as you are cooperating, you'll be eligible for U visa. So what you are eligible for is called U visa, not VAWA. If you are attacked at your job, you may be eligible for U visa. The next comment says, I don't remember my comment that says, do you mean
I think you
Democrat?
mentioned Republicans. It's like, oh, you mean Democrats.
They probably will come back
Yeah.
if they realize. Okay. So I still cannot see it on my phone. Are you able to see it on your side?
We can see you here.
Okay. On my phone is just that. Well, I'm not sure if.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Here, let me see your
Okay.
phone.
Okay. Can you please read the next question since apologies for, you see, all this technology thing, we don't really know what is going on. It says YouTube crashed and we don't know what could have crashed it. And so we are back live.
Yeah, it shows where she says, you mean Democrats, sir. The Florio tree.
Okay. Thank you. Apology for the short break. I mean, it was something outside our control. It says that,
YouTube crashed.
yeah. Yes, YouTube. So the next question. Good morning, sir. I'm Matthew by name. I came into the US dollars through H1B route. I would like to know if you do renewal of H1B in your chamber. If yes, yeah, we do renewal. Please contact the office.
There's part two. Answer the question.
Oh, okay.
And three.
The part two, okay,
It will expire
by September 2025. So when can I start? Oh, September 2025 is still early. You can start 6 months to the time. So you are still okay. So when can I start? And I was able to use only 2 years from the 3 years. Can I add the unused 1 year to the renewal one? Yes, you can recapture the 1 year, but not immediately because H1B can only be approved on a 3-year maximum period at a time. But of course, if that 3 years expire and you are still not able to get a green card, you can still recapture the unused 1 year and seek another 1 year extension. Yeah, you can recapture it, but not immediately. Part 3 of the same question. After the renewal, what is the best route to take to get green card and its cost implication? Well, if you are planning to get green card, you don't wait till renewal. You should have started by now because labor certification process is something that takes several years. It takes several years and it's not something you can do by yourself. So you have to contact the H1B employer, the petitioner, the company that filed the petition on your behalf. They are the one that can commence the process of green card. Of course, the process, anyway, I don't know the details about your profession and all of that, but it is likely that the process will require labor certification, but it is the employer that will need to do it. So if you are already here and you have been here for 2 years, time is probably not on your side. You need to start that process as early as possible. But you cannot be the one to instigate it. It is your employer that will need to start that process. The next question, and also it is your employer that needs to pay for it. You cannot pay for it. It is against the law. The next question, part 1. Hello, thank you for all you do. I have applied for asylum and it's been pending for 7 years now. I've listened to your previous podcast on asylum. If my EB2 NIW is approved, can I change my status with a pending asylum case? What happened to my child who turns 21 years while my case is still pending? Well, the part of the question that is not clear is this person didn't tell us when the asylum was filed, because the timing of the asylum will determine whether you'll be able to adjust your status through the EB2 national interest waiver. If the asylum was filed before the expiration of your I-94, or let me say it differently, if the asylum was filed while you are still maintaining legal status, yes, you may be able to adjust your status. But if the asylum was filed after the expiration of your I-94, but within 1 year, you may not be eligible for adjustment of status. So that is a key determination. So as far as your child is, your son is concerned, before he turns 21, if you are eligible to apply for adjustment of status, that is, if visa is current for your category before it turns 21, then it will be protected by what is called Child Status Protection Act. But if visa is not current at the time it turns 21, then you cannot benefit from your adjustment of status, but he may still be able to benefit from your asylum application, even though his own application will have to be separated once he turns 21. But if your own application is approved, he can still benefit from it. The next question: if I'm a pastor planning to relocate to America together with my family, how do I go about it? Well, if you are a full-time pastor, the only way you can legally relocate to the United States is to find a denomination, a religious organization here in the US that can petition for you, and you will have to belong to the same denomination, and you must have been doing this job for at least 2 years, and you must have documentary evidence of your employment. It cannot just be, oh, they are giving me cash. No, that will not qualify. So if you are going to apply for green card directly, you need to show evidence of 2 years full-time employment, and those evidence must be verifiable. There must be documentary evidence of it. I mean, if your pay slip, your tax return, evidence of administration, all those things, you must have it. However, if you don't have that, if you are a pastor and you have a religious organization that you belong to the same denomination here in the US that is willing to sponsor you, they can file initial R1 for you, which is a temporary work permit for you to work for that religious organization. That one will not require you to show full-time employment, but it will require you to show 2-year membership with that denomination. So the starting point, to answer your question, the starting point, you have to locate a religious organization here in the US that can petition for you as a pastor, and you must belong to the same denomination for at least 2 years. So if you now have evidence of 2-year full-time employment, you may be able to skip the non-immigrant part and go straight for immigrant. But if you don't have evidence of 2-year full-time employment, they can still petition for you as a religious worker, R1. That is a non-immigrant, but that will also allow you to come in and work for the religious organization for at least 2.5 years, and it is also renewable for another 2.5 years. And usually, once you work for the initial 2 years, for as long as you have the documentary evidence, you may now be able to file I-360 and commence the immigrant visa process. The next question: can a US citizen wife petition for someone that has been denied F1 from Nigeria? Oh yes, F1 has nothing to do with your marriage. If you are married to a US citizen, yes, it doesn't matter where you are from. The US citizen can petition for you. And it doesn't matter whether you have been on F1 or whether your F1 was denied. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you must be able to prove that your marriage to the US citizen is a legitimate one and not a fake marriage for immigration purpose. That is all you need to prove. The F1 does not matter. I think I've answered this next one, this Relay IT Nexus.
But he added more information.
Is this a different? Okay, let me just read it. I've been married to a US citizen for over 4 years now. When my green card comes and in 10 years, can I apply for citizenship immediately? I've answered that.
Yeah, but he said that there was
Okay.
an issue with the network and he couldn't hear you answer.
Okay. I've been married to a US citizen for over 4 years now. When my green card comes and in 10 years, can I apply for citizenship immediately? I receive my green card since my marriage will have been almost 5 years. The answer is no and yes. No, because number one, your eligibility for citizenship is not based on the date of your marriage. It is based on the date of green card. So they start counting from the date of the green card. So it doesn't matter whether you have been married for 10 years or 15 years. If your green card is approved today, for the purpose of citizenship, you start counting your eligibility from today. So that is the no part. The yes part of it is that if you choose to join the military after you receive your green card, yes, your application for citizenship will be expedited, because for people in active military, US military, the requirement is that you must be a permanent resident for 1 day. So what that means is that you can get your green card today and apply for citizenship tomorrow, but you will need to be in active military duty. So if you join the military, yes, you may be able to do that. But if you don't join the military, the eligibility starts counting from the date of the approval of the green card, not the date of your marriage. The next question: what will happen to the Biden I-131F green card parole in place now that Trump has won the election? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what will happen. Remember, apart from Trump winning, even the case is still in court. Some Republicans challenge the Biden administration in court, saying that it doesn't have the authority. So the case is still in court. Of course, Trump can come in and just decide to withdraw the parole in place and put an end to it. But he may also choose not to do it. Let me tell you, there are a lot of unknowns with the Trump administration. When Trump won the election in 2016, in fact, before he won the election, he said that he was going to he was going to cancel DACA. He said he was going to abolish Obamacare. A lot of things he said at that time, he was not able to do it because, like I said, there is a system in place here. The system is not easy for the president to override the system. Although with the way things are going now, because I know that the Republicans have won the Senate already, so if they claim the House of Rep, then he may be able to have his way and do whatever he chooses to do.
He was able to get rid of DAPA.
Yeah. But that one has not even taken effect.
Yes, you're right.
That one has not taken effect. I'm talking of programs that have taken effect. You know that people have started filing the parole in place before the court order stopped them. So even after the court order, USCIS is still accepting immigration as of today. The problem with that for him with the cancellation is that any application that has been received by immigration will probably be processed, just as it ended up with DACA. So people who are filed will probably be grandfathered. But at the end of the day, he may not even be able to reverse it, because it is one thing to say certain things to win an election. It is another thing to actually implement those things. So at the end of the day, he may not be able to do it, but he may do it. he may reverse it because this is an executive order. This is not a law. If it's a law, it will require Congress to amend the law, do something. That was why he couldn't abolish Obamacare, because Obamacare became law during President Obama's tenure. So it wasn't easy. It was not something that the president can just say, "Oh, I stopped that." It required congressional passage or amendment or action. So, but this one is an executive action. Yes, it can come in and stop it, but he may also come in and not do it, because remember, he's not seeking election in the future. This is his second term, and no US president can go for a third term. So he may not even do it. Many of the things that he claimed he was going to do, he may not do it. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just expressing an opinion.
There's a follow-up to one of the previous questions you saw, and EBET. Like, I have it on my phone. You want me to send it, or do you want me?
Okay.
I asked if she had applied before.
I did the extension of stay, then apply for asylum. I was never at any time out of status. Okay, yeah. If you are never at any time out of status, yes, you may be able to adjust your status. If your EB2 NIW petition is approved, you may be able to adjust your status. This is a very complex processing. It is not every lawyer that can handle that. So if you believe that once your EB2 is approved, you may want to seek professional advice on that. The EB2 has already been up. Is visa current?
Yes.
Yeah, if visa is current, because you can't even apply for adjustment of status until visa is current. But if visa is current while your asylum is still pending, yes, you may be able to adjust. So the next question. I believe I've answered this one, the real light next one. Okay. The next question. In our state of residence, one must wait for 6 months before remarry. Can we go to another state like Vegas to marry and use same certificate in our state? Can we also file immigration documents same month? Oh yes. For immigration purpose, the law of the state where the marriage is conducted is used. So if the law in Las Vegas allow you to remarry, even in Texas, you don't need to wait 6 months to remarry. In Texas, the law is that you wait 30 days before you remarry. But that law also gives provision for a waiver. You can apply to the court that you don't want to wait 30 days. You want them to waive the 30 days. So you can do it. So, but to answer your question, it is the law of the state where the marriage is conducted. That is what immigration uses. That is the law. So if you get married in a state that does not require you to wait for 6 months, you can marry in that state and you can file your petition immediately. Yes, the answer to your question is yes. The next question. In applying for F1 status reinstatement, what is the consequence of taking a delivery job outside campus? Well, it's a ground for denial. If immigration find out, they will deny it, because F1, one of the conditions of F1 is that you can only work on campus for a maximum of 20 hours. You are not allowed to work outside campus except you are on CPT. However, if you're on F1, you are not allowed to work outside campus. So if you are already out of status and you are applying for reinstatement, one of the requirements for reinstatement is that you must show that whatever led to your being out of status does not include working without authorization outside campus. So if immigration does not know about it, you may escape it. But if they found out, it's a ground for denial. Okay, network was breaking. I think I already
Yeah, that's
answered the
right,
question.
yeah.
Okay, the next question. I'm applying for the EB2 NIW and I'm thinking on sending my petition by the end of this month. What could be the impact on the premium processing of I-140? Impact as I don't understand the question. There cannot be any impact if you pay for the I-140. They will process it. Premium processing simply means that they will process your petition expeditiously. That is what it means. It doesn't affect any other thing. The only advantage is that you know your fate. If you file it using premium processing and they approve it, then you know that it's a matter of time before you apply for green card. As soon as visa becomes available, you apply for green card. But if your question is trying to know whether premium processing will expedite the application for green card, no, it doesn't. Premium processing simply means that they will expedite the processing of your I-140 application. And I think that I-140 right now is premium processing is 30 days now.
It depends on which center.
So 30 calendar days.
But officially, it's supposed to.
Yeah, it's 30 calendar days. So if you pay for the premium processing, they will process your case within 30 calendar days. So if approved, you simply know your fate, that now you know that you have an approved petition. So if you are here in the US, all you need to do thereafter is to do everything humanly possible that you maintain legal status until visa becomes current. But if you are outside, there is nothing to worry about other than to just be checking the visa bulletin until visa becomes current. That's all.
Oh, she just sent another message. That's the last one. She said she was referring with the election now. Trump.
When Trump has nothing to do with premium processing, Trump has nothing to do with all of that. Those are immigration systems that are put in place, and it is not one of those discretionary things that the administration can say stop. I mean, what Trump is after is people who are here illegally. So if you are applying for premium processing, it has nothing to do with Trump. I mean, premium processing is not cheap. They take money. It's one of those things that immigration uses to make a lot of money. So whether Trump is the president or not does not affect that. They will still take your money. So it does. Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with that.
Same thing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to see my last question before I jump. Um, Okay, I think I found it. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. So, okay. I think this is a follow-up question from this person always called me during podcast. Yeah. So does permanent resident takes effect from date of application for green card or from the date of approval of the date of issue? Please send him a message that we are live on podcast. So
Oh, okay. This is the. Oh, I don't know.
no, it's not.
I was thinking it was the office one. This
Let him know that it's interrupting our live.
WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Is that WhatsApp?
Yeah, you can do that. Aha. So, does permanent resident takes effect from the date of application for green card or from the date of its approval? It's from the date of the approval. The date of the approval. Whenever you receive your green card, there is a small line at the bottom. They will tell you residence from. That is the date you become a permanent resident. So you start counting from that date, not the date of the application and not the date of the marriage. The date of the approval of the green card, that is the date. The next question. How far is IA24 follow to join for an approved EB4 religious category spouse? What does it mean? How far? I don't understand. What does that mean?
general, which if it's high.
Well, I don't understand this question. I don't understand what you mean by how far is it. I mean, is there IA24 is there. So if you are talking about processing time, yeah, you can just, well, the processing time right now, I understand is 5.5 months for IA24, follow to join for religious worker. Yeah, 5.5 months. That is the current processing time for that category of petition. The next question: can the petition be filed in our state of residence? Yusuf, is this the question about whether somebody can get married?
Yes.
Okay. Oh yes, the petition can be filed in any part of the country. It is the law of the state where the marriage was conducted that will be followed by USCIS. But yes, the petition can be filed in your state of residence. The next question, I was referring to the, okay, I think I already answered that. That was the question with premium processing, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. Okay, the next question. I have N400 submitted on June 2023. Initial, now I'm waiting them to schedule me for interview. Contacted them so many times and contact congressman without any benefit. Any suggestion? June 2023. That is over a year now.
Sorry, I missed. I was responding to the asylum person.
Okay. Well, if your citizenship application has been pending for over a year and you have not even been invited for interview, I can assure you that something probably show up in your background check. I can assure you of that. Something probably show up in your background check. So you may need to just continue doing service request, or I mean, I think he even said he tried to.
Can you file mandamus?
Not for a year. It has to be. You have to. Yeah. No, he has not been invited for interview. If this, that is the law. But if you have not been invited,
Okay, we're back.
yeah. So so are we back live?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay. The question I was addressing is the N400. Yes. So what I'm saying is that based on personal experience from this office, I can tell you if your application has been pending for over a year for citizenship, it's either they found something in your background that require extensive review, or you have some A file, you have multiple A files, and they have not been able to combine all of your files. But definitely something is going on. Is not normal, especially in an election year. It is not normal. But the only thing you can do, service request, continue doing service request, and you see, but right now it is not ripe for mandamus based on this fact. It is not. Okay, the next question. How fast? I honestly don't remember the question. This one.
Yeah. Processing time.
The processing time. Okay.
Yeah, we're back. So someone says no voice, or I can't hear you about my question. I hear you go now. That was for James, the N400 submitted.
Okay. I believe that's the last question.
He just couldn't hear you.
should I sue mandamus?
Okay, should I sue Mandamos to get them schedule me for N400 interview in spending as like I said, based on this fact, Mandamos is not ripe. Based on this fact, you don't want to do that. Yeah. Okay, she says no voice. Can you hear me now? Can you please confirm you can hear me? This is probably going to be the last question because we've gone past our time. I believe that's why the phone is intervening.
Said no voice, I don't know. Awaiting work permit, okay. Okay, yes, he can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that Mandamos is not ripe right now because for the way citizenship works, the law does not give them specific processing time when it comes to citizenship application. The law only gives them time after an interview. If you have been invited for interview, statutorily, USCIF have 120 days, which is 4 months, to take a decision. That is statutory. So if they don't take a decision after 120 days, you can file mandamus. That you can do that. But before they invite you for initial interview, 1 year wait may not be sufficient. And I can tell you, with Trump administration coming in, if you file mandamus now, they are probably going to contest it. Since I've been practicing immigration law, it was only during Trump administration that most of the contested mandamus that I had, it was during Trump administration. Normally, once we file mandamus, USCIS act on the case and get it uh, adjudicated, and then reach out that we withdraw the case. 98% of the time, that is what happened. But during Trump administration, when we filed mandamus, they decided to challenge it and they contested it. Although I eventually won, but they contested it. So the fact that this case has only been pending for a little over a year, I don't think you can win in a mandamus situation, especially if they found something in your background that require additional review. Right now, I will not advise you go the mandamus route. So I think the work permit person is a different person. Awaiting work permit for one derivative. Every other person approved. 7 months gone now. So what's the question? What to do?
On which
I don't
on
know.
which one are you reading?
You say awaiting work permit for one derivative. It didn't say what under what category. For example, if it is asylum, you could ensure that you register with ASAP and attach a copy of that. If it is not asylum, if it is family based, I mean, just do a service request. That's what I can say based on these facts.
Or check.
Or also check the processing time in the service center where the application
Yes.
is pending.
For that.
Okay,
Yes, it has a pending I-45.
I-485. Okay, yeah. Check the service center where the application is processing and check their processing time. If it is beyond the processing time, then do a service request. But if it is not beyond the processing time, then you have to wait. Okay. The last question that I'm going to okay, say national benefit center. Oh, no. Those ones that is the worst service center you can be in the US. That is the worst. Sometimes they have some of their cases processing time could be as high as 60 months, which is 5
She
years.
sent a service request already last month.
Yeah, national benefit center is ridiculous. That's the worst.
I think so too.
But incidentally, for employment authorization at the National Benefit Center, the processing time is only 6 months. So you may want You may not want to do a service request. Okay, it says
That's what
it
he
just
did.
did service request. Okay. Yeah, follow it up. Usually they should respond to you probably within 14 days. If they don't act on it, do a second one.
After 60 days.
After 60 days, do a second one. So keep putting pressure.
Yeah.
National Benefits Center is the worst of all the service center, but incidentally for EAD is only 6 months. So
If it's a renewal, they can
Uh-huh.
use the receipt notice.
yeah.
It's done.
So continue doing service requests since it's only 6 months for National Benefits Center. Okay, let me read this last question and we have to go. It's almost 1:30 right now. How long does mandamus take to process? And you mentioned that if there is nothing under my cupboard, I can file mandamus. What may be under someone's cupboard? Okay, I believe this is the family-based.
Approved. I don't think he can file mandamus before I-45.
Yeah, I think I've answered that before.
Yeah, I think he got confused.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what I meant by not having something in your cupboard is if the marriage is not questionable. But in your case, based on this fact, you already have I-130 approved, so you are not even eligible to file mandamus because mandamus can only be filed by the U.S. citizen, and the petition that the U.S. citizen filed on your behalf has already been approved, so there is no basis. Your application for green card, that is an application filed by you, and you as a foreigner, you do not have the local standard to file a lawsuit against immigration. So just use administrative mechanism. Go through maybe you get your wife to go through your congressman, your senator, do a service request and give them calls, even though it's hard to get a live person over the phone. But you can also go through what is this chat
Ask Emma.
Emma. Yeah, you can also go through Ask Emma and
USCIS
send
website.
them messages on USCIS website. So we have to put an end to this. This was supposed to be 1 hour. We have spent 1.5 hours. I apologize for the break in and out. It was calls coming in through our phones. Usually, these are phones that we use for podcast, but some people have been calling, interrupting the live program, and unfortunately, we have not been able to fix this system. Hopefully, we will work on it and fix it before the next time. So, in the absence of any additional question right now, we are going to have to close today. We hope to see you again next week, Wednesday. We will post the topic that we'll be discussing next week by God's grace. We post it probably between today and tomorrow. We post it. So remember to invite your family, friends. This is probably going to be a trying period for immigrants in this country with the new administration coming in. But again, we still cannot say this decisively what will happen or what will not happen. But as they say, from where I come from, the late Chief Bola Ige of Nigeria, he said, "I will sit down, look." Hope to see you again next week. God bless you. Bye.